Mr. Speaker, there's just one problem. Yesterday, the Prime Minister confirmed that the theory put forward by one of his national security advisors was true. He has also said that it was the member for Surrey Centre acting alone that was the result of this embarrassing incident. So how can the Prime Minister at the same time blame rogue elements in the Indian government and the member for Surrey Centre?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, like most Canadians, on this side of the House, we respect and appreciate the work done by our professional public services, and particularly in regards to our national security agencies and information agencies. We believe them when they put forward their information and their recommendations to us. At the same time, the member for Surrey has taken responsibility for his role in the invitation extended to this individual and has apologized.
Order. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, is the Prime Minister actually saying that the member for Surrey Centre has taken sole responsibility for a scheme concocted by the Indian government? Is that the assertion that we're led to believe? Now, how can they both be true? If on the one hand it's the government of India that has implicated itself into Canadian government affairs, that is a profound allegation that has serious consequences that can't be thrown about lightly just to get through a 24-hour news cycle. Why is the Prime Minister so irresponsible about this very important bilateral issue?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, we support and accept the Council, the recommendations, the extraordinary work and advice done by our national security agencies and information agencies. We support our professional public service and accept the information and recommendations they give to us. At the same time, like I've said, the member for Surrey Centre has taken responsibility for having extended the invitation to this individual and has apologized.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, nobody believes that there wasn't a single person in the Prime Minister's office that was not provided a list of invitees. Nobody believes his ridiculous assertion that the responsibility lies with rogue elements or factions in the Indian government. Now, by having an independent national security official brief the media anonymously right in the middle of a negative 24-hour news cycle, the Prime Minister has implicated the independent public service in his disastrous trip. Will the Prime Minister confirm or deny that anyone in his office orchestrated the briefing to shift blame on this?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to have to explain this to the member's office that he did not learn this through 10 years of government, and we saw that regularly in their behaviour in the Harper years. Professional public servants, particularly those in the national security and information areas, do extraordinary work based on their professional qualifications, based on their analyses. And when they make recommendations or when they make statements to Canadians or to this government, we on this side of the House choose to believe them. On that side of the House, who knows?
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
We need new lines.
So,
big time.
The Prime Minister would have us believe that an independent national security officer took it upon himself to brief the media right in the middle of a terrible news cycle that was embarrassing the Prime Minister. If that isn't the definition of politicizing national security officials, then I don't know what is. Nobody is believing it. The Prime Minister needs to learn that there are serious consequences to these types of allegations, that governing is more than just Instagram posts, that when you make this kind of allegation, there are consequences. Will the Prime Minister identify who in his office orchestrated this media briefing?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Perhaps it would be helpful to folks here if the member opposite actually were to state whether or not he believes that the professional public servant who functions in a nonpartisan way was not telling the truth, was not clear on what he was saying. This is the issue that the member opposite seems to be going at, that he doesn't believe our professional public servants in what they tell to Canadians. If that is the case, then the member opposite should say so.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Order.
Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister identify who it was who briefed the media? Will the Prime Minister identify, so that we can have confidence in what was said, who in his office orchestrated the media briefing? Will the Prime Minister provide a modicum of proof for these assertions that it was the Indian government that was behind his embarrassing fiasco? I doubt that he will, Mr. Speaker. You know, last year he met with someone who was the vice president of a listed terrorist organization. In December, he met with Joshua Boyle, who days later was charged with sexual assault and unlawful confinement. Why is it always that this Prime Minister seems to be identified with these kinds of people?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, the member opposite is not being clear. He has not come forward to say whether or not he actually believes it.
Order. Order. We'll need some order so we can hear both the questions and the answers. I think a little respect for the House meetings. We're going to hear both sides, and each side has a chance to respond in due course. And each side should have confidence, I think, in the ability of Canadians to judge the quality of both the questions and the answers. The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Order. The Right Honourable Prime Minister has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, if the members opposite do not trust or believe our national security agencies, they should simply come forward and say it. On this side of the House, we have faith in our professional public servants, particularly in the intelligence and security areas, who do extraordinary work every day to keep Canadians safe, and the members opposite should stop disrespecting them.